Hello and welcome to chapter 183 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing this evening?
Not well, I'm not doing terrible. Um, I did go to work early today, so I'm kind of tired. Thankfully, maybe I don't know. We don't have a ton of news that we're gonna be covering today. I know we had stuff drop like at the day after,
Yeah,
and I
classic
know I
DC
know
Alliance uh, show history here. We're talking about it 6 days later, which is not.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I listened to Marvel Alliance today finally because I couldn't on Friday because I took off work and went to Indy. But they were talking about things that happened a week later. Also, Brent, I know you made the comment of us just moving a day, and that we'll see what happens with that. We've got
Get
some
out of our head,
talks
Brent. Get out of our
in the
head. Get out
future,
of our head.
but yeah, no, like it's I'm tired. It was a long weekend, a very long day today, and yeah, just I realized that I've got to do some editing sometime this week. Plus, Barbie's coming out this week, so go see that. There's also that other one, the Oppenheimer movie. That yeah, whatever. But
You're a Barbie girl, Joe. That's just the
oh,
way it
in the
is.
Barbie world,
I want to keep going, but I'm gonna
how
hold.
you
I'm
doing,
gonna
Travis?
hold. I'm doing well, Joe. I didn't have work today. I took the day off to stay with the kid while Allison had a couple appointments and that, so that was fun. It's been a heat wave here, though. It's been miserable. The dog's miserable. I'm miserable. Allison's miserable. This house is like a heat box compared to.
Where's your
Uh,
AC at, man?
we don't have
Those
any.
fans. You
Normally
don't really.
we experience summer for about 2 months of the year, so it's not though these warm temperatures. Most of the time, it's uh,
Oh, okay.
like cool 20 degrees is max normally. But the last 5-ish years has gotten quite warm. Now her parents have AC and a pool, so
Get a window unit. Window
yeah,
units are
that's what we're ordering now. Next week is going to get here,
yeah, they're
so
nice.
that'll be something we'll set up in the kitchen window and have it just coming into the living room is good enough for us.
Yep.
But her parents have a nice little setup with the pool and the
Which yeah,
AC,
anything with the
so
pool is great.
the
Just saying.
dog is actually not great. So we're gonna go head out there on Wednesday after I finish work. So it's gonna be a fun little couple days off. Besides that, Joe, not much. Waiting for Blue Beetle. We have a terrible strike. I believe we both. Not even talking to you about this. I believe I know both of us are on what side we're both on,
Yep.
and that
Well, I
strike. We'll
did. I
discuss
mean,
that
look, we're both for the strike. Like,
for
pay
the
your writers,
union.
pay your actors.
Yes.
Um, I did put out a tweet the other day once SAG officially went out on strike. I think what Thursday, I believe Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
whatever day it was. Um, because when I work for a union, the auto union, and when we went on strike back in 19, within like the first 2 weeks, they attempted to take away our insurance, our health insurance, which we had paid up, and like we're covered for like the month or like 30 or 90 days after we quote unquote leave. Uh,
Yeah.
and they immediately within 2 weeks after we started striking attempted to take away our health insurance. It was just like, cool, F you too, whatever. But
Yeah, they think that's a cool. They think there's a way
it's
to get you guys, break you down, but
exactly.
that only tightens.
We went 6 weeks. We went
Yeah,
6 weeks on strike.
and they folded. Well, you guys got
Well,
a better. Well, not they folded, but you got a better deal than what was presented to you initially.
well, we got a deal.
You got a deal.
We got our contract is up this year again, so they're already talking about another potential strike. So I'm working the overtime to prepare, bank some money in, so that if we do go out longer, I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine now, but like I like to be extra prepared. So, but
Yeah,
regardless, that's just to say unions are yes, they do have some problems, but unions in general are a good thing. They protect their I don't want to say employees, but union members,
yes,
and pay your writers, pay your actors.
yeah. The residuals and stuff, Joe. They need better. That you see these execs with their writer pay. We'll get into all that in just a little bit. Before we go any further, Joe, let me get the network plugs out of the way. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 8 shows in total. And Mondays is Ranger Alliance, and it rotates bi-weekly with Slice of Film. And Tuesdays is DC Alliance, and Wednesdays is the Animation Nation, and Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance, and Fridays is Marvel Alliance, and Saturdays bi-weekly is a walk through the multiverse, and Sundays monthly is World's Finest True Believers. DC Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Alliance goes live Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also have their own podcast feeds. Search Marvel Alliance, DC Alliance, or Star Wars Alliance. If you just want Marvel content, DC content, or Star Wars content only. But if you want all 8 shows on the G-Way Podcast Network, stay subscribed to the G-Way on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. $1 tier is basically tip jar. You like what we're doing, you want to help us out. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras, get your ad-free episodes, early access to episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. We have myself and Joe going through all the DC films through the years. Up this month for the patrons is Batman and Robin. I'm excited to get that discussion going with Joe. We ran into some technical difficulties trying to do it yesterday, but we will get on that pretty quickly here. We also have Brent and Chris, the Marvel Alliance guys, doing their Infinity Saga rewatch. So stick with them as they cover the entirety of the Infinity Saga. We have Clay going through shows for the first time, Katie going through Star Wars comics with her husband, and Joel's Multiverse Minutes. We thank everyone that's a patron, but if you're not a patron, if you can take a quick 30, 60 seconds, rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice, it's always greatly appreciated. It helps other people find the show. That's always a great thing.
100%. I kill your vibe. He says, or they say, yeah, the big corporations, they like to make promises when employers are in line.
Yeah,
When they step out, they show their true colors, and those promises were empty. 100%.
that's usually the case.
100%.
I kill your vibe, man. Hello, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
I hope it's going well. It's going well with us. I'm a little
We're,
warmer than
he's
usual.
he's burning up, and I'm bald, so we're all
Yeah,
good. No,
that's pretty simple way of putting it, Joe.
bald and
I'm I'm
tired.
I'm warm, but hey, my government's paying me, giving me $200 because of a climate initiative. I don't know. Yay!
Yeah,
They gave
your
me a
your your
grocery.
country's on fire right now.
They gave me a grocery rebate last
Oh,
month
nice.
because groceries have been too high, so they gave $300 every person. So yay! But we're not here to talk about the things that my government's giving me
We're not going to talk about
financially.
how great Canada is, huh?
We're on fire right now. So, yeah,
All right.
we're here to talk about the Blue Beetle trailer.
Yes.
The new trailer, it dropped. Obviously, Joe, what day did it drop?
Tuesday. Now,
Yes.
mind you, we got a ton of news that dropped Tuesday,
Yeah.
which got foreshadowed or overshadowed by one picture
Mm-hmm.
coming out of Deadpool 3,
Yes.
which don't get me wrong, I am super excited for that.
But that's shut
But
down. That's shut down right now. That's not even finished filming. So, uh,
sure,
just it's over in the corner there. This is tangible. This is coming out in a month.
tangible. Don't jinx us like that.
It can't not come out now.
Sir, one of
Shit.
our news
This is
articles
DC. This is DC.
specifically
Goddamn.
says we'll go into that.
That was me knocking on my wooden desk.
Uh-huh. Okay.
God damn it, you're right. No, we have a new trailer for Blue Beetle, Joe. I'm excited to get into this. Give me a second to share
Yep.
my screen, and we'll get right into this.
I will say this while you're bringing it up. This dropped Tuesday. I know. I don't remember when it dropped. Like it was shared in our group chat, and I missed it. Like I didn't watch it for whatever reason. I was doing something, and then all of the Deadpool stuff came out, and it just like
Mhm.
got lost in the shuffle. And I never got around to watching it literally until you shared the show notes.
Yes, and I kill your vibe.
We'll
Before we
talk
get
about
into it,
that.
we'll talk about that just after we get through the trailer because that is actually that's a discussion we should have right now.
You want to have it right now? Let's go have it right now.
They talked about pushing this
To next year.
film, Joe, to next year, which I'm going to be honest with you. I think it should have did that if you were going to have him join the DCU, like Gunn saying. I think that's why you should have done it. But I also think there's no way they were going to do that with the financial state they were in. Look at
No.
what they're doing, licensing out their products to try to get cash flow. You're not going to put on the shelf a film that could give you some actual tangible cash flow because you already have the money spent There's no getting that money that you spent to film it back. So you can
Plus,
tangibly have some cash flow coming back in. So
you run into the risk of, and I'm not saying that Flash would have been better had it come out at its original date, but that kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
behind
And then
other
by the time it
multiversal
did, it was just like
stories.
nobody cared.
Yeah.
But
So
I do agree with you that this one, with Gunn saying that Shiloh and Blue Beetle will be in his DCU going forward,
mhm.
yeah, pushing this back, and then I know he wants to make Superman Legacy the first film, and I get that. Superman is the iconic, he's the beginning of the DC overall. Like it makes sense that Superman should start it all. At the same time, why can't you start with Blue Beetle?
You
But then
could.
you fall into the Green Lantern problem where they tried to do started with Green Lantern, the DCEU with Green Lantern, that didn't take off, and then Man of Steel came out and it started it, something. WB messed that up, but that's a whole other thing. Listen to our Patreon. We'll get into that in a few
Yeah,
months.
that'll be fun. Andrew Haley says, "I feel like it could be DC good." Well,
Define
yeah,
DC good,
be good.
Andrew,
Yeah.
because
Uh,
that's a mixed bag. Let's be honest.
I'm with you though, Andrew. Do
I
think
think
this
it will
film
be
is gonna
good.
be good.
I am
And
looking forward to it. This trailer, which I'm sure we're about to pop up, showed a lot more action, a lot more story, a
yeah.
little, and while that first trailer looked fun and felt like it was going to be a good fun time, this one is actually, you get the serious tone and you're
Yes.
actually telling a serious superhero story.
Yes, which I really enjoyed this as well, Joe. And again, I think there's merits on the strategy wise for the whole plot and containing in the universe to pushing this to next year. But money wise, where WBD is right now, I don't think it made much sense to not try and get this out when it was supposed to. And like you said, that was a good point you brought up about the you push it too long, you run the risk. So I feel like Wonder Woman 84 suffered from that a little bit too.
Well, Wonder Woman 84 also had the problem of COVID.
COVID, I know. I'm just
You
talking
know,
about it was push back, push back, push back, and then more.
oh,
I feel like if
somewhere around Aquaman or Shazam, not great, but a fun time. Okay,
I like those as
I
well.
can agree with that. I'm hoping it's higher a little bit than. I mean, obviously, like Aquaman made the $1 billion, and while it wasn't the best movie ever, you're all right. I did have a fun time, and Shazam is right there with you. So yeah. You know what? I could see it be around there. I would like to be more higher than Aquaman on the fun time
Yeah.
aspect, but we'll see.
So let's get into this, Joe. Closed captioning is on, of course, and you'll talk a little bit more while I go through this. Uh, yeah. So we open here with Jaime trying to fly, and this is his first flight.
I mean, like for a second, I thought those were bats flying by. They were just birds, but like this
Yeah.
this is great because it's like you have to what do you say? You have to throw yourself into it or whatever. And then
Yeah.
he throws himself off the building.
And it looks great. I love this suit transformation. It reminded me a little bit of Legends of Tomorrow.
See,
No, sorry, the Flash Arrow crossover where Hot Girl had to get her wings and she had to run and just basically take a leap of faith. That's what this is showing, and I love the transformation, like the fire
while
burns off his clothes, and bam,
while I do like transformation, he's gonna go through
so much
so much
clothes.
wardrobe. Like he's burning
Yes,
his clothes, which
I
is
hope
not
they
great.
do eventually figure that out, and it doesn't do that anymore.
Well,
So it shows one day earlier, and I want to show. Did you see this as they're going
I
in?
saw the Twitter links because first watch I didn't watch it. Yeah, LexCorp. You got Ace over there. Yeah.
Cord Industries here, Cord's tallest building, of course. LexCorp is here, and I'm really interested. I think this
What's
will be the LexCorp logo for the DCU Superman
Yes.
Legacy.
What's interesting about this layout is all of it is. I don't want to say futuristic, but it's very. I not Batman Beyond, not like Neo Gotham or anything, but
No, but
it's very like
a little bit of a step up from what we have currently.
well, yes, but
Yeah.
like what am I trying to explain? Like the fact that they're all like hologrammed out is just like
Yeah.
te- technology is important here, you
Mhm.
know. So that could be something that plays into the DCU going forward. I'm not 100% sure, but
I love how they're questioning, Ginny here, saying, like, "Did you know what was gonna happen when you gave him the scarab?" Uh, and the car I can't wait to see this, scene, Joe, in the film when he actually gets chosen and all his family freaks out.
yeah, yeah.
There's a couple shots here of the actual scarab on his back that look incredible as well.
That's a little bit later, yeah. Yeah, but this
Same
is
thing,
him getting the
we saw this in the other trailer, but we
but the
get more
fact
of
that
a narration this
Jenny
time.
says that, you know, the scarab chooses his host. So
Mhm.
obviously it saw something in Jaime that he doesn't see, which obviously that's the point of the story. He'll
He'll see you by the
he'll
end,
see it by
hopefully.
the end. Yeah.
And I do love think the effects are fantastic. We saw this same thing in the first trailer. Uh,
Yeah, so far what we're seeing in the trailer, these look awesome.
yes, the effects look fantastic. The suit looks great. I'm in. I'm in. We see the villain. I think he's a
First
little
villain.
bit of a generic run of the mill villain, though. But I think it's more of a focus on family than it is anything else. Hashtag family.
Hashtag family.
Uh,
I
what do you think
agree.
this is? This is what I was curious about as well. The power of the scarabs. What do you think? Is it this all scarabs like what he has, or are these like her trying to make scarabs
I think it
out
might
of
be her
nothing?
trying to make scarabs because when they actually show suits, they don't look like black
The one
scarabs
Jaime,
or
yeah.
other scarabs from the universe. So I think it's her trying to copy the power.
Oh,
And
this
then
is right.
I Kill Your Vibe says that the CGI actually looks pretty good in this trailer. Yes, yes, it does. Now, hopefully, that will translate to the movie because I'll wholeheartedly admit the CGI in Flash,
Woo!
the Flash trailers looked decent. Not
Yeah,
there was a couple spots that looked a little wonky. This looks better than the Flash trailer. 100%.
100% agree with you. 100% agree with you, Joe. And I do
So
like
as
this.
long as it can translate from the trailer to to the show or to the movie, we're on board. This is gonna be fire.
Yes, and look at the action here. I think the action's great, and I do love that he is nervous part
Yeah,
of this.
because he's trying to. It's this him learning the scarab. It's him learning the bond that they have to
He
form.
and
And then once, of
he
course, they
doesn't.
threaten his family, he's like, "F you, dude. What?"
Yes, I do love the guns. I like how he's going to be learning as we go from fight to
Mhm.
fight. Like it's not going to be great the first time, but he's going to gradually get better. And yes, I didn't need them to read me the theme of the film at the end of this trailer. Like, I didn't need that. Like, I got that was something that I would have hoped that most people would have got by the end of this film anyway. That some people think that having these emotional ties as family makes you weak, like you can target them and make you in pain. But it's my family is that's what makes me strong.
Hashtag
That's
family.
did didn't
All we need is Vin Diesel to just walk up.
I could have
He's
closed
like,
my eyes and I could have sworn I was hearing a Vin Diesel speech, but that's the only thing. I love the theme of the film. Like I love the theme of the family. I just didn't need it spelled out for me over my head in this little bit of trailer here. You could have held
I
this
mean,
even.
I agree. They probably could have held that for the movie. But it's also showing his resolve.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
showing like why he's doing what he does. And I'm not saying we needed it, uh, because you know that first trailer we had him having the fun jokey right there with the scarab on his back. It looks, whew,
That looks
that looks creepy.
fantastic. That looks fantastic. It like I really can't wait for this film, Joe. I'm really excited. I
Oh, I
love
forgot
how she's like I forgot how oh I forgot how that looks. I love that.
I love it. It's great.
Yes, so they're ready to target family. There's one other ridiculous thing I want to talk about in a second too that I'm just like,
Nana.
yeah, I didn't need that. Uh,
No, but it's a fun thing for the trailer.
yes, the action here is great too, Joe. Like I think it's fantastic, and I'm really interested to see if you're going to see the actual Beetle before him at any point. probably by the end of
I
this
don't
film.
know. Maybe end credit scene. We'll see.
I think we got something from Gunn here with tie him with Booster Gold. Booster Gold.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it'll be freaking Nana.
Yeah, this is something that
I don't know. I love it. Just
I know you do.
that big gun. It's great.
Like you can see the humor. I think I'll probably laugh at it. I do love this too. That at the very
Oh,
end,
it shows
showing
the stories. Yeah,
yeah,
because Infinite Crisis is where we first see Jaime getting the scarab, and then he goes into his own series. I'll need to find some of that for a giveaway for when Blue Beetle comes out, but I
yes,
know.
we'll
Yeah.
we'll have to. So yeah, I really did enjoy this trailer, Joe. This obviously had both us coming in regardless, but I thought there was a lot of cool stuff here. Great action, and like we talked about, the whole family of it all that's
Mhm.
on full display here. Hashtag family.
Yeah. So Andrew Haley, he says, I think it'll be good, but I don't think it will do well at the box office because I'm sure the GA won't care. I agree.
Yeah,
It sucks because, and I mean the conversation that him and I Kill Your Vibe are having, it will probably definitely do better in Flash. I think people are excited for this. Um, I Kill Your Vibe. Yeah, Andrew, I agree 100%, especially since the press junket is canceled due to the SAG strike.
and that's a pretty good easy segue to
Well,
Joe.
before we get there, I just want this last thing here is Andrew saying, I'm sure more people will wait for it to wait for the Max release than going to see it at the big screen. And
Which
that
is ironic.
is, we've talked about that already. It sucks. You are correct, Andrew. Like I'm sure there's gonna be a big old group of people waiting for it to come on streaming, which
Yeah,
sucks.
and also sucks that it's right in the middle of strike time right now.
Yep,
So th-
that's the other big thing.
that's the other big thing. And Zolo's already said on record that he has to stand on the right side of history to the Blue Beetle battalion. Y'all killing it. I won't be able to promote this movie, but you can. And it sucks for him. It's the worst possible time. Uh, for this to happen for him in this film. This is a big break for him in his career, like the biggest so
Well, I
far.
mean,
Yeah, and obviously
he
Cobra Kai is
had
huge
Cobra
too.
Kai, which is what got him in this
But
role.
this is like you could be a movie star, you could be in multiple movies if this goes well.
I
So
mean, he's gonna be in multiple movies. Gunn has already said he's gonna be in
Gunn
more
said a lot of things already that
DC movies. Yeah, but
I need to see come through,
that's fair.
especially with a WBD teetering on the edge of being sold at any point in time. Yay!
Yay.
But no, it sucks, doesn't it, Joe, that he can't promote this. He can't be on the Tonight Show, the all the other shows. Well,
Yeah.
some of those are still striking because of WGA as well.
Yeah,
The
like
yeah,
all of the late shows just stopped,
yeah.
back in May because
There's
they
more podcast interviews and stuff like that right now for anyone
yeah.
promoting a film.
Which I know it was talked about in our chat, like how do us as podcasters go forward uh, doing all this stuff, like covering this stuff. I think it was revealed that yes, because we are not part of SAG, because we're not in a union for all the stuff. We as podcasters, we as YouTubers can still go. It's not really promoting as much as just reviewing.
Yeah.
Um,
And you're going to hear from us, like myself and Joe. We're 100% supportive of SAG.
yep.
The executives at studios are complete butt munches, and they're just the worst. Their pay has gone up so dramatically. David Zaslav does not need hundreds of millions of dollars to make terrible decisions. That you don't need to be paid that much for that type of quality leadership, mind you. And all the writers, their pay has not increased. The lowly actors, I'm not talking about your A tier actors that can afford this, but your guy that you've seen in 4 episodes of 5 different shows with the beard, he's somebody that are trying to take healthcare away from, stuff like that. Take away his appearances. It's infuriating.
I will say I did just hear this week from a somewhat reliable source that even the lowest writer is still making a decent amount of money per week. Um, but I also understand that living in California writing and living here in Indiana writing,
It's
those are
different.
two different
You got to be compensated for the cost of living difference. That
yeah.
would definitely creep up on you there. Andrew Haley asked us a little bit off topic, but you could pick one DCU character to be part of the DCU. Who would it be?
Does it have to be
It.
DCEU? Because I would go Ryan Reynolds from Green Lantern. Just
Ooh.
kidding.
Oh.
No, no.
I would go Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman because I feel like she would have the longevity factor where you have a new Superman casted. I feel like you would if new Superman wasn't casted, I'd go Henry Cavill all day. But since they have new Superman casted and I'm just going forward, continuing on, I'd use Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's not a bad choice. Honestly, I would probably go Cyborg.
Ooh.
I'd probably go Ray Fisher Cyborg because I did like his Cyborg in
I
Zack
did
Snyder's
too.
Justice League.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
I don't remember his Cyborg from
I
Joss
don't
Whedon's
remember
Justice League.
that. It's been a while. I do
We'll
remember a
we'll get
couple
there
things.
eventually.
Oh my god,
Sadly.
we will too.
Uh,
God.
but yeah, probably Ray Fisher Cyborg. Because we know we're getting a new Batman. We already got a new Superman. Wonder Woman isn't a terrible choice, but I think I'd rather, since we're getting younger, a younger Superman, I would like a younger Wonder Woman to compensate. Because I'm sure we'll probably get a somewhat younger Batman. It's not
Yeah.
George Clooney. We already know that.
It's gonna be Jensen Ackles, and I'm gonna be furious. That's
It's not
what's
going to be
gonna
Jensen
happen.
Ackles. Stop it.
I hope so, Joe. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I've seen people cheer for it on Twitter. I'm like,
Why would it? Why would it be?
why
Why?
in the world of mediocre? But well, he voiced Batman. He's wanted the role. He dressed up as Red Hood on his own accord and his own time.
Now him being Red Hood, I'm fine with.
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually
just.
liked him as Red Hood, but as Batman, no, not so much.
That's I think that's a perfect segue to the ad break. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. Going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe. Uh, the trailer, like I said, that was a good time. I think we're both super excited for the film when we get to there. We have a little bit of news. It's a slow week, so this won't be your average super long episode or anything. We have some Superman Legacy casting news. Obviously, we missed this. This came out the day after we were done recording, of course.
Yeah,
We have Isabella Merced as Hawk Girl, Ed Gathig as Mr. Terrific. Apologies on that. And Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. That was a rough last one. And we had a third. Just give me a second here.
fourth.
A fourth. Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho. And
Yep.
Anthony Kerrigan is the double DC legacy casting, as he was in Gotham as well as one episode of Flash. The first season, he was the guy who turned into toxic gas that could kill people.
Seriously,
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
yeah,
And now he's turned the Metamorpho, who can turn into gas and kill
yeah.
people. Gotcha.
It all comes full circle. James
All
Gunn was
comes
watching
full
the first
circle.
season,
No,
and maybe he was smart
Anthony
enough to
Kerrigan
pull
is.
out.
I love him. He's amazing actor. I've been seeing him a lot in a bunch of different shows and movies. So I'm fine with this. Him being Metamorpho, I'm excited. Like because that's a character that has not been on screen yet.
Yeah,
Actually, I mean, all these are. We're getting Hawk Girl, we're getting Miss Terrific, we're getting another Green Lantern finally. Now it's Guy Gardner, which hasn't been on screen yet.
but still,
So
Green Lantern on screen doing
Green
Green
Lantern.
Lantern things like constructs and that. We don't have to get his whole backstory. I'm super excited about
Well,
this, Joe.
see, and that's the thing. I'm actually looking forward to when we do get Guy Gardner's backstory in the
Which
future
I am as well in the future. I'm
because
just excited to get somebody here. You don't have to give us the backstories for all these characters, as some of them, we they can be bit players, and then a bit more about the Green Lantern lore and their powers going into a Green Lantern series that's going to be on HBO Max. So yeah, I'm all about this. I think this is going to be this is a good choice, Joe.
I kill your vibe. I like him in Gotham, but he seems like he plays better as a villain.
Well,
Yeah. What am I? And this is. I mean,
Metamorpho's been known to toe the line a little bit too. In
no, not really.
some interpretations, he was evil for the start of the Justice League animated series that he was in. He shows up as Jon Stewart's friend, and he's bad for the first half of that two-parter, and he finally realizes he's being played by the guy who turned him into Metamorpho, and he goes on a "I'm going to kill you" kind of thing.
I wouldn't call that bad per se.
Bad,
I would
but
say
yeah, okay. He fights
misled.
the Justice League and beats him up, and
So
okay,
misled. You gotcha.
yeah. He thinks
Yeah.
John's cheating on his girl, cheating on him with John.
So misled. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Joe, stop
No,
knocking.
I know. Like
You're right.
Metamorpho isn't
You're right.
bad. Like it's just
Yeah.
he's he's misunderstood, if anything, and he's I'm not gonna say easily manipulated, but his maybe because he's kind of not right in the head anymore because of everything going on. Yes, he is. He can be led
Well, they
astray.
played that guy as aloof that turned into him in the animated series. So, uh, like more of
Okay.
a jock, less of a scientist.
I'll
Let's
just
say.
say like he plays a villain in Bill and Ted Face the Music, and his the villain role in that is just it's fun. So I like him as an actor. Plus, I just like Bill and Ted Face the Music. Um, Andrew asked if did you see him in Barry. I've been hearing nothing but great things about Barry.
Yeah,
I need to probably start watching. I think second season just came out on Hulu. So
I think it's further down the line now. I think it's
no,
fifth
no,
season.
no. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm thinking of
sorry.
the Bear. I'm thinking of the
Yeah.
Bear.
I think it's the
Barry,
fifth and
yes, is
final
another one
season.
that I have to see. So
Yeah, it's on my list as well, Joe. I want to see it. I've been told it's great, like just like I Kill Your Vibe saying in the chat as well.
yeah,
I heard it's great,
I think it's
great,
on
and
fourth season just came out and it just ended. Yeah,
okay, yeah. So I think there's a fifth and final season. I'm really excited. I think these castings are great.
thank you, Andrew.
I know a lot of people. I've seen some complaints, not a lot of people, but some complaints. Do you think it's filled with too many heroes?
So I wouldn't say you can run the risk of that. Obviously, when I heard the announcement last Tuesday, my first thought was Man of Steel 2. It wasn't actually called Man of Steel 2. Everybody was calling it Man of Steel 2,
Yeah,
which became BVS. But it was like, oh, we're getting Batman. Okay, cool. Oh, now we're getting Wonder Woman. Oh, okay. Oh, now we have Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg and this and this. It's like, okay, now it's starting to get heavy.
yeah,
And mind you, we got Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg in a little snippet, and that worked. And the
yeah.
movie was literally about Batman and Superman with Wonder Woman coming in halfway and then continuing on. So it worked for what they're doing. However, I'm under the assumption that this is going to be them as maybe not just a society, but as a group of people.
JLA maybe.
I don't think it's going to be JLA. I mean, it could be,
It
but
could
I don't
be.
think Mr. Terrific ever got JLA status. I think he
Okay.
was only ever JSA.
Maybe
And
that's what it is too. And I Joe, I'll debate these characters. I know people are saying that James Gunn has a great response for it. He's not only going to show the life of Clark, but the life of Superman as well, that's populated with heroes because
yeah.
he's already said that heroes are in this world before Superman shows up, which is pretty much the antithesis of the Man of Steel, where he is the first superhero. He's the first one. Everyone's world changes and their whole views change. And more of a philosophical. How would you feel if there's this other being in the world?
Well, yeah, and
So
it's the fact that it's Superman is coming into this world where heroes are already established.
yeah,
Like, I like that.
same.
So maybe it's gonna be one of those things where they're on the screen, like they're on TV fighting a villain, doing something, and we never actually see them up close. But these are the characters that are going to be coming down the line. Like these are the roles. We're going to see them in this universe as the roles.
Hmm.
You know,
And this is what Peter Safran said to some of this as well, to the casting news. The good news is, if you've seen nothing that we've done before, you can watch Superman Legacy, you can watch Creature Commandos, you can watch Peacemaker Season 2, and you can watch Blue Beetle. All of that, we are trying to minimize audience confusion and maximize their enjoyment. And I'm going to push back on that a little bit, because I still think some of the audience is confused as to what's going on. Uh,
the problem is that you're going. to I 100% agree with you because people are going to look at this and be like, so how does this connect to Aquaman 2 or
Mhm.
The Flash or
I think it'll need a couple years, so maybe the Superman comes out, it'll be like, "Okay, yeah, this is what we're starting." Again, might have been reason to push Blue Beetle a little bit, but I'm trusting God just like I Kill Your Vibe says, I trust Gunn, but I'm hesitant about adding so many characters into the first film of a new universe. They have to establish suits properly first and foremost, and he has said that this is a Superman and Lois, Clark and Lois story first and foremost, above anything else.
so? And I'm right there with both of you, all of you, because Andrew agrees as well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those films where I, I trust Gunn. He's shown that he can do an ensemble. He's shown that he. We're going to talk about that in a second. So hold on,
After
Andrew.
the break, after the next ad break, we're gonna talk about that, Andrew
Um,
Haley, the end of the show.
um, yeah, I he knows what he's doing with groups. Now, this is not supposed to be a group film. I 100% agree. That's why I think it's there could be more background characters, which can still be problematic. But I trust Gunn, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think so as well, and I also think you're gonna see the effect of Superman on all these characters and this whole world. What
Actually,
because we have heroes already, you're gonna see a different kind of hero, one that does like is just noble and does the right thing regardless. Uh,
I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be them heroes already established.
yeah.
They are they're fighting, then they're going for the interviews, and you've got Guy Gardner, who is a cocky son of a bitch.
Oh, he's gonna be
So
like that
he's
could
going
be
to
the
be the
team.
guy. He's going to be
He's gonna
Jason
be
Todd in Titans.
yes. Oh my god, Joe. Just say the same thing. He's gonna be saying Titans are back, bitches. And
Yeah,
then
he's
oh
going to
good
be that
job,
arrogant
Jason.
prick who is just like, "Oh, we of course we won. Why did you think otherwise?" Like,
And he's the one that's 100% solely responsible for Slade coming back because Slade wouldn't have saw that on TV if he didn't
yes, with that,
sing
yes,
it.
but like I think it's going to be Guy Gardner being the mouthpiece and being annoying, and we'll see that throughout the movie. Him on like the we'll call him Justice Society. See the Justice Society on screen throughout because it's at the Daily Planet, right? Like Clark is already established, Superman is technically established, which means Clark and Lois working at Daily Planet. They're gonna have the TV screens on. They're gonna have the news articles up on the walls. I think that's how we're gonna see these heroes in this world
That could
because
be it
those
too.
heroes are established. I
That,
think
that,
that's how
that-
it's gonna be. So they're
that's
not
a
gonna
good
be
take
up
too.
front in our face, which will make it a Superman and Lois story, a Clark and Lois story, while proving that these heroes are already established in this world
You
out
could
there.
even get them showing up after Superman deals with the thing and trying to recruit Superman. He's more like a no, I'm a solo act, and then that would
Exactly,
make
something like that.
him
Which he
forming a
was
Justice
in the very
League.
beginning.
Yeah,
He
oh,
did not join
100%.
the Justice League in the beginning in the
And
comics.
that
So
would have been like that would make forming a Justice League a bit more cool, and you could do it more similar to the Justice League animated series. Way you could have Superman running up to people after a few films and few like, oh, I see the Authority operating. No, we have to have our own group that shows that you have to do things by the book the right way. So
yeah.
I'm excited as well. They did drop. Max dropped 4 recommendations for for these castings as homework before Superman Legacy. It said, not never too early to start doing your homework. Dive into these DC superheroes on Max after the casting news from Superman Legacy. Number one is Justice League, of course, for Hot Girl. But there's some other characters there as well. Justice League Unlimited for Mr. Terrific. I would say if you want to have, he's probably one of the only correct portrayals. If you wanted to see a quick, short, accurate portrayal of Mr. Terrific, look at the Injustice film. Probably one of the only characters I will say that about.
That
Uh,
film,
yeah, that film was oh my god.
it
So
was
yeah, I
bad.
don't really want you to sit through it. So if there's a YouTube clip saying Mr. Terrific scenes from Injustice, probably watch that because that film was one of the
That
worst.
film was bad.
Oh my
I'll
god, like
agree. It was bad.
and it's so frustrating because the content I love it. I was on World's Finest True Believers for all 5 years. Uh, it's just it should have been in more of a mini series format rather than one episode where we're going to make decisions that
Yeah, well,
yeah
yeah.
frustrate me sometimes. But
It's
yeah,
frustrating because we've had such great animated content on that line, and then I don't know whenever they got rid of the New 52 one to go into the rebirth or whatever they're calling
Yeah,
it started to like crumble. And
I agree with you there, Joe. It
yeah,
was just a little rough. So
yeah.
the other two, so that was my personal one for Mr. Terrific as well. Young Justice for Metamorpho. You can use Justice League as well, like I said, for that episode, two-part episode. Uh, I do enjoy it a bit more in Young Justice, especially the fight scenes with him, Deathstroke, and Lady Shiva and Katana. That was a fantastic fight scene and Batman's there with Bane as well. Sorry. And Bane asks, "No one escapes my island," and then Batman lists like 20 people that have escaped his island in this show's history, and it's just like fantastic. And the final one is Green Lantern the animated series for Guy and Gardner.
So
So
can I? I'm no, I never did watch the Green Lantern animated series. That was
ooh,
out
that's
of the three,
underrated.
of the four of these, I never watched that one.
Underrated.
However,
It's only one season.
them saying, "Oh yeah, if you want Mister Terrific, go to Justice League Unlimited. And if you want Metamorpho, go to Young Justice." Do they not realize that Unlimited was like the whole of the DC universe? So Miss Terrific, out of the 2 seasons, probably had like one episode, and
Oh
then
yeah.
Metamorpho was in maybe 3 episodes of the 4 season Young
Well,
Justice.
we
Like,
might not have it anywhere else in any other appearances.
no,
So
I get
I
it,
am right. They should
but
have said episodes as well.
yeah, they should have said the episode.
They
Out
did
of
not.
all of that, the Justice League for Hawkgirl was probably the best recommendation
Yeah.
because they definitely had episodes just focusing on her. And even in Justice League Unlimited, like because she was part of the first season, the first original 7, even in Unlimited, they had episodes dedicated to her. So
Yes.
Justice League in general, which will roll into my what Andrew Haley had asked, best DC animated film and show.
Ooh.
Justice League, I think, is probably the best show. I loved the Justice League show. Now, don't get me wrong.
If we included Unlimited with that as well, 100%
Okay, sure.
agree
Go ahead.
because
So the Justice
those
League series,
yes,
all of it.
because they did like the big season-long story arcs in the Unlimited when they came back. Like,
Yeah.
they were really cooking then. But that wouldn't mean diddly squat unless we sit through the first 2 seasons of regular Justice League where we got to like love our core characters and could
Yep.
handle expanding out. So
Yep.
you're not getting much pushback from me. I probably would agree with that. There's people saying Batman the animated series,
Batman is a great
uh,
series. Great
Green,
series.
uh, oh,
But if you
the
count the animated series, you have to count
Young
the
Justice deserves some
Young
credit as
Justice
well.
gets some love. But like, well, I would say if you count the Batman animated series, you also have to count that last season, which
Yeah.
was not great.
No. For me, animated, I'm going to throw out a couple to you, Andrew. The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. I thought it was a
Those are
fantastic
good.
adaptation. Uh, Green Lantern First Flight is a very good origin film for Green Lantern. That's what I was hoping the film would have been. Nothing in on Earth, all in space for the most part. Uh, so yeah, that's another great one.
One of my
And Justice
favorites
League
is
Apocalypse War was pretty good
that's a
wrap
great
up.
one. That
And
was a great one.
Flashpoint Paradox because you have the two tie-ins there. And
War was good
Justice
too.
League Crisis on Two Earths is another really
That's
good
another
one
good
as
one.
well. So those are
I
cool.
really, really,
Under the Red
really
Hood, did you just
enjoyed
say Under the Red
Under
Hood?
the
Did
Red
you say
Hood.
that? Yeah.
Yep, that was one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Trying to think. I'm
Great
looking at my
question,
shelf
Andrew.
because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Um,
Batman versus Robin is a good one too. I do like when Batman comes or
that
Son
was
of
a good
Batman,
one.
sorry.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
Battle
seen
of the
like
Super
I don't
Sons was
I
pretty good.
yes, Battle of the Super Sons, new one. I love the CG, especially
Yeah.
going from someone but myself and Joe talked about all that Beast Wars. That was all
Yes.
CG animation. And just to see where it's come from there to that, oh my god,
Yeah.
fantastic. So yeah, great
Yeah.
question, Andrew. Joe, let's take our final ad break of the evening before we talk about My Adventure with Superman episode 3 and get out of here. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We don't pick the ads or the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back.
Dark Horse, last pick for animated movie. Teen Titans Go to the Movies because they've got the best death scene for the Waynes ever.
Ooh. Not a bad choice, Joe. Not a bad choice.
Just saying, best Wayne death scene ever. That's all I'm saying.
Also, Justice League Starcross, they did make it into a movie event, the season finale of season 2 of Justice
We
League.
also had like the first 3 episodes be a movie as well, but
Yeah, Secret Origins.
yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, we're not talking about that today, Joe. We're talking about episode 3 of My Adventures with Superman. My
yes.
interview with Superman. So, what do you think about this episode, Joe? Before we talk a little bit more, what do you like and dislike about it?
So I only got to watch it the one time because
Yeah,
like I said
same.
last week, it's a show that I'm enjoying and that I will enjoy, but I'm not going to like this comes out Thursday on Max,
Peek,
Friday on
peek,
Max.
peek behind the curtain, listeners, to the making of the show. I was doing the show notes today. Finish them up. They were not meaty, to say the least, in content. Minus
Yeah.
the trailer and the Superman Legacy casting, there was nothing, nada, besides strike news. So I wrote Joe and asked Joe, think we can squeeze in a viewing of the 3rd episode of My Adventure with Superman?
Yeah.
So that's we both had this
Yeah,
time to watch it once before
it's
we
it,
dove in.
it's not a it's a good show. It's a show that is definitely it's a Superman show for this generation. You know, Batman the animated series was the Batman show for our generation. Superman animated series was the Superman show for our generation. Because I know like Clay has said that the Batman, which is a great show, was his Batman for his generation. So this, I think, is going to be a good Superman show for this generation. Um,
The
that
Batman is
being
a very
said,
underrated show.
the it's definitely very anime. It's
Yeah,
definitely very, and I love anime. You know, don't
same.
get me wrong, I love anime.
What I've seen, I love. I can't say I'm a big lover,
So
as
it's
big a lover as you guys.
that opening, not the opening scene, but the opening credits definitely had the anime
Oh
vibe,
my god, yes.
which is wonderful, and I loved it.
Big smile. I had a big smile while I was watching it.
Yeah. I did so a part I did like was Clark Superman realizing, he does give the interview to Lois there at the end because he realizes that not just because people are going to be searching for him to get the interview, but that Lois, you know, I don't want to say she's going to put herself in danger to do it, but he even said like I told you and Jimmy to run, and instead you help people. Like you weren't doing all this for the glory. You saw danger and you wanted to help. Like I love that.
Especially you contrast that with the team that Perry had to get the interview from him, and they were all about
Correct.
them. They had their own little like opening montages. Well, actually, one of them, Ronnie didn't. Ronnie was a legitimate
Ronnie was
journalist.
she's just
He
like,
was
I'm not doing this.
not
Like
doing
you guys
this.
are
Fuck.
stupid.
He was like Ronnie, the journalist. So I did really like that, Joe. I really enjoy this. I've liked it more than the last 2 episodes. I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more.
My
Uh,
only concern, my concern, and I killed this. I kill your vibe. Brought this up. He says the villains, or they say the villains have been hit or miss so far in my adventures. The dynamic between Lois, Clark, and Jimmy, I do love. Great, but the villains on this one, it's Silver Banshee, Mist, and I don't even remember what the third guy was. But this is Intergang.
Intergang. They're calling
This is
themselves
Intergang.
Intergang. This is yeah.
Like
That's why I was wondering. I was like, are we seeing
Silver
Darkseid? Are we
Banshee
getting
looks like she's
some?
10.
Yeah, that
That's
she doesn't have.
again.
She's not.
That's
She's not rocking her powers. She's not rocking
that's
her
one of the
powers.
bad things about anime is that you'll have these 40-year-olds looking like they're 15-year-olds.
Yeah,
But I did like the equipment,
and
like
the action with
like
Superman was great.
Banshee's helmet looked amazing, and I really like
Agreed.
that.
Agreed. I also loved, like I said, Superman's the action with Superman would got even better in this episode for me. I did like how he fought back, and ultimately at the end he just like crumpled up with
What?
their little gauntlets and little things that helped him with powers.
And he gets his heat vision.
Yes, that
And
was
he
pretty
even
cool because he did
when he's
that while
talking.
they were while
Oh,
they
go
were
ahead.
in distress. Sorry, while they were distressed, he thought that Lois and Jimmy something was going to happen to him, and he kicked in the heat vision, which I really enjoyed. This I love how always seeing Superman getting his power for first time clips. It's just it works for me every time.
Agreed. I kill you vibe. Live wire did work, and probably because we had the 2 episodes. But yeah, Banshee and Intergang, not so much.
Yeah, I like the Superman stuff more than anything here. His action and in his little moments with Lois.
We see Deathstroke at the end as well. Obviously, he's going to grab these 3 villains. But the fact that we're only getting 6 episodes, we only got 3 episodes left.
Yeah.
And we do know we have a second season coming already.
So are we
now
gonna
with
leave
the
it on
strike, I don't know.
cliffhanger, Joe, or do you think we're
Oh,
gonna
it's
get
definitely gonna
some
be a
complete?
cliffhanger.
Okay.
But I also, because of the opening credits, I also got the vibe that Lois and Jimmy are going to find out that he's Superman. Now, anime works in funny ways to where the transition is just all that. It's just a transition, so maybe they won't find out, but it definitely felt like, because if you watch enough anime, you understand. I'll just put it like that.
And I'm like I said, I'm in for to see how this close up. I'm interested to see if we're gonna get anything from Jor-El, if he might be the villain of the season. He wanting
Well, we
Superman to
we
take
see all,
over. Superman got a little vision there at
he
one
had a
point.
vision when the device hooks
Yeah.
up. So, and this is the second vision he's
And that
had.
and that looked like one of the devices that was going together when he was digging out
Yeah,
the bottom with his parents, like one of the casket things. That's what that looked like to me. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with Jor-El going forward.
yeah.
Okay, Joe. I think that's pretty much
Last little thing here.
uh
I'm
last
surprised
little
we're
thing.
getting so few episodes with shorter episodes. I mean, they're 22-minute episodes, so if because they are airing on Adult Swim and then getting put out on the Max.
Yeah, so that's
Um,
why they're short. They're just a
that's why they're
30-minute
22 episodes.
window.
Now, the season being only 6, maybe it's because
Try it and see what you, or maybe everything was on pins and needles, not getting much more when we didn't know what's going to happen with the DCU. I don't know
that,
DCU.
but I don't know. I don't know because I mean we know that the second season is coming, but they're not done, correct?
Yeah.
Which means it's on hold because of the
No, I
strike.
think it should be finished or
Is it
should
finished?
be. I
I don't
think
remember.
I'm not sure. I can't remember now.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, guys.
Joe. I think that wraps it up for tonight. Not much here, really, besides a great trailer and some Superman casting for heroes. We're getting a lot of heroes in this film, and I'm, for one, excited, and I think Joe is as well. Joe, I guess I'll see you next week for some more DC goodness and at least another episode of My Adventure with Superman.
Yeah. Yep, maybe. Also, Andrew, Walking Dead was also like the first season of Walking Dead was like 6
Six
episodes.
episodes. Six
But those are
episodes.
also like 45 minutes long. So,
Correct.
yeah. Anyway,
We're
all
out
right.
of here, everyone.
Have a
Bye.
good night, everybody.